Well, hello everybody. My name is Mike Sewart, Group CTO at QinetiQ, and we're on day 3 wrap-up of some of the exciting innovations, some of the exciting concepts, and also some exciting challenges that our customers have had that we've witnessed across today. And I'm here with David Rosewell from QinetiQ as well, and we're going to have a little bit of a conversation about some of the things that you've seen today, David. So, where do we want to start? Should we start with where do you want to start?
Well, I think, it's day 3 of DSEI, and I spent quite a bit of time sort of going around the show. And the thing that struck me is that whilst there are, 5 operational domains that are commonly used in the military, the show is still very much focused on the traditional ones of land, sea, and air.
Yes.
And I think the whole cyber area and space area is of absolute vital importance. And they don't seem to have quite the same level of emphasis as I think they deserve.
It's a fair point. I mean, you can just look round here. You can see, easy to see a big tank or a big land.
There's a lot of
kits
kit
everywhere. But where's strategic command really? Where's the information side of DSEI? I think that's the sort of thing that we're missing. But it's probably at the same time less tangible at an event like this. So it's probably one of those things that's sometimes harder to bring to life.
Yeah, and it is here, but it's quite not quite so obvious. And I think I was very pleased to see that there's a tech zone here this year, which is new, wasn't there 2 years ago. And in particular, there's an area where they're featuring some micro SMEs in the tech space. And there's a few of those got some really, really interesting solutions.
Well, what have you found? Give us an example. Bring it to life.
Yeah, I think one which really particularly struck me was an organisation that really they're offering some synthetic training.
Yeah.
And what it really is for it's for the military and other security forces who need to operate in a crisis situation.
Right. Okay.
So what it does is it basically simulates an environment with social media. And it provides that way of training people to deal with what a situation as it evolves and as it emerges, both in the sort of the media and things like Twitter and Facebook.
It's very different as well.
I think it is quite a different type of solution, and maybe and interesting that organisation has not come from the defence and security world; it's come from actually the media world.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like an interesting little find. But you had to search out for it.
And it's one of those difficult challenges then for an organisation like a micro SME. How do you then figure out this whole world of MOD and defence and actually start to get relevant onto some of the acquisition programs? Because that whole approach to operating model, to procurement, it's going to be a big challenge, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've got a couple of problems here. One is that there's an enormous increase in the pace of technological advancement.
Yeah.
And that's great in some respects because it means that there's new possibilities for the military and for security. But it's only going to be as good as the procurement and acquisition and implementation approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if the actual overall process is geared up for things that evolve over decades, then that's not going to apply to something which is evolving over years or months. I mean, another company I spoke to is doing work around adversarial AI.
Right, okay.
So, and how you combat it. So this is not about setting AI against AI, but it is using data to try and trick an AI algorithm or engine into behaving as it shouldn't. So it's a really sort of innovative area. But how do they get into the supply chain? And how does a small organisation work with a very large organisation like the MOD? It's not easy.
It's a good point, but then I guess the theme of DSEI this year is around collaboration, right? So it's got to be a case of not just SMEs doing their thing, not just defence primes doing their thing, not just MOD doing their thing. It's about joining those value networks together, because I think everyone's got value to contribute, but it's about coordinating it in a way which is at a faster pace as well, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's really important that everyone realises that innovation is not just about coming up with new stuff and new ideas. It only becomes innovation when it's actually being delivered into the hands of the user. And I think my slight concern is that we've still got a bit of a gap between all these great solutions, particularly with the SMEs, and getting it into an acquisition program and getting it into the hands of people so that we can make the world a safer place.
Well, I think that's a great way to sort of wrap up day 3, right? Which is, it's brilliant being here. It's brilliant to see all of the equipment, all of the organisations that are exhibiting, but at the same time, to the point that we just talked about, we've got to figure out how to focus on the customer's mission and how to do it at pace, and most importantly, how to work with colleagues across MOD to actually execute quickly so that we can get that capability into the arms of the user rapidly. So thank you very much, David, for your time today. Thank you for everybody who's been listening, and that's day 3.